What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, everybody? We're actually getting a little bit of late start today, but I'm still going to give y'all this work because I was preparing to put this episode together for y'all because this is going to be a great one. It's actually a challenge today. And it's going to be one that you do not want to miss. Even whether you're at work or whether you at the grocery store or wherever the case may be, standing in line at the bank or you standing in line at Dunkin' Donuts. This one is going to benefit y'all, man. Let's get right off into this thing, man. I don't want to wait and delay this anymore. This one is going to be called, this episode. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you all for who have subscribed and are avid followers and watchers. I'm going to open up the comment section for this because I want you guys to be very engaging and interacting with this info that I'm going to give you simply because I'm going to show you today how to add $500 to $750 back into your bank account free. Now, before y'all start tripping, I'm telling you. If you do these simple techniques and strategies, it's going to put $500 to $750 a month. Some of you might be getting closer to the $1,000 mark a month back into your account, and you can utilize this money to fund your business. You do not have to go to a bank. You do not have to go out and borrow money from investors. You have, and that's what I'm basically simply telling you, you guys have the money already to fund your business. And I'm going to be showing you how to do that. And we're going to call this the Brown Bag Challenge. So at the end of a week, if you do this just for 1 week, I would love for you guys to come back onto the thread and type into the comment just a ballpark amount on how much you saved just after this 1 week. So we're going to go for 7 days. We're going to go from today is Wednesday, and we're going to ride all the way to next Wednesday. So next Wednesday at the opening of that podcast, I'm going to be going through the comments and just throwing out numbers. I'm not going to say any names. I'm just going to throw out numbers of the people that have saved that much money. Now, here's the thing. If you can save that much money in 1 week, 7 days, imagine what you can do if you multiply that by 4 weeks in a month. Now, I have a course study in my RDM business group to where I show people how they can establish and create their very own LLCs, get their trust set up, get their virtual addresses, and get their websites and everything. Now, and this ties into that because you guys need to know before you even think about setting up an LLC, before you even think about setting up a trust, one thing you need to understand is setting up all of that is for naught if you do not have income coming in. What's the purpose of securing your legacy if you don't have any money coming in? Thank you for tuning in to the show. This is the Brown Bag Challenge. I'm dropping some major science on how to self-fund your business. So, and where we are now is you have to have money coming in if you are going to set up your LLCs and set up your trust funds. And I'm going to show you exactly how to get that money started. The Brown Bag Challenge. And this is what I'm challenging everybody, even if you're watching this on the replays. I'm challenging everybody to do this, to show yourselves that you do not need a bank loan and you do not need to go out and get investors. You have all the money you need to fund your own business. These are the same techniques that my coach gave me. These are the same techniques that I would say my advisor. He wouldn't like for me to say coach, but these are the same techniques and strategies that I put into place for myself. This is how I know that this can be done. When I first met my business advisor, you guys have already known this story. The shark from the hit TV show Shark Tank. I was fortunate enough and blessed enough to be at the right place at the right time. And I was thankful enough to God that he gave me a character to where I can shut my mouth and listen. And listen. So early on in my business, I've always had the leather business. You guys know this from Premier Leather Crafters. Ever since 1995, I started that business, but I wasn't making any real money until I met my advisor. And I remember this conversation vividly because all of the things that he was telling me that I could do, that I can do, and where I should be and where I could be in my employee mind. Now, this is not my boss mind. This is my employee mind. My employee mind was it was ringing up a cash register in my head about all the money that I was going to need to get all of these things done that he was telling me to get done. And the first thing I said was, again, in my employee mind, I said, hey, Kevin, I said, man, I got to get a bank loan for all of this. And he was like, no, you don't. Now, here it is. Imagine this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm arguing with a man with 9 figures about, yes, I do. I got to get a loan. And he was like, no, you don't. And he simply said, let me show you how to do this. And it was the funniest thing because I'm going to give it to you right here. Let me turn this phone off because I don't want to be interrupted. I want you guys to get this game today. This is called the Brown Bag Challenge. He said, first thing, he said, Robert, he said, do you still drink McDonald's coffee? Everybody knows me. I have to have that dirty water every morning. Been drinking it ever since I was in the Army. Just got turned out on coffee. But, and at that time, McDonald's coffee was just outstanding. I mean, it was nice and creamy. They used real cream. I mean, it was the best of the best. And at that time, it was bringing it out there premium roast. It was 99 cents. And I would always get me a cup or two before I go to work. Now, he had already given me the strategy to keep working while I'm building the business. But all of the things that he was saying was, I needed this extra money. He said, you still drink McDonald's coffee? I said, yes, sir, every day. He said, why don't you? He said, every day? He said, how much is it? I said, 99 cents. He said, okay, so that's basically $1 a day. He said, and that's 7 days a week. That's $7. He said, did you know that you can go to Walmart and buy 120 canister coffee can for $6.48? I said, yeah. He said, so why not take that $7, because you're spending $28 a month just on 1 cup of coffee, sometimes 2. So he said, why don't you take $7 of that and buy that 120 canister coffee can, and said, now you can drink for 120 days on $7 instead of 7 cups for 7 days. Never thought about it. He said, you're welcome. Now, this is all according to the Brown Bag Challenge, because I'm going to throw this right back to you guys at the end of this, and I'm going to challenge you to do the same thing and then see how much money you have left. Now, that was just off of a cup of coffee, $28 a month. He said, do you eat lunch? Every day. And now in my here again, in my employee arrogant cheap mind, man, I eat at Rallies. I eat that Rally burger, that Checkers. $3. You get that big beautiful combo. Some of you guys already know. You get that big beautiful combo. I just need enough food in my stomach to get me through work. He said, that's every day, right? He said, well, when I'm at work. So that's 5 days. Now, look at this. This is an extra $15 to $17 a week just eating Rallies. So let's keep this simple. Let's say $15 a week. That's $60 a month on top of the $28 a month. I'm already at, where we go? I'm already at almost $100 just in lunch and coffee. He said, why don't you go to the grocery store, buy you some lunch meat and loaf bread? He said, you get at least 28 to 30 slices in this pack of loaf, this bread loaf, and then you got no telling how many slices of meat in this pack of lunch meat. And instead of you spending $3 or $15 a week on takeout for one meal, he said, now you can eat lunch every day and you won't even spend $5. He said, I just saved you some money. You're welcome. And I was just like, come on, man. I get the point. But I need this to happen fast. I need all of this stuff. And you done sold me on this dream that I could be making $250K a year. So, hey, listen, I need this money now. And he said, listen, it's a slow walk. It's not a race. It's a marathon. Even in the book called Bible, the scripture says the race is not given to the swift. It's given to the one that endureth to the end. See, that's one thing about us. We don't have patience to wait on what God has to give us. We, like that G.G. Whitworth commercial, I want my money and I want it now. But life doesn't work like that, because fast money means it leaves fast too. Because the same scripture, another scripture in that same book says a fool and their money will soon part. Huh? See, the reason why wealthy people and entrepreneurs go through the marathon of establishing businesses is because now you have to instill financial discipline within yourself. You guys get it? When you're walking through this process of the brown bag challenge, what it's doing is killing impulse shopping. An impulse shopper are the ones that have the most regrets when it comes to spending their money. You ever notice sometimes after you've gotten paid and then you start impulse shopping, and before the weekend is over with, you sitting back and you wonder, man, I know I had more money than this. Where my money go? That's impulse shopping from an undisciplined financial person, because they are tied into, and I touched a little bit on this yesterday about learning to control your emotions. The one defect into people who are in that mentality or in that frame of mind is they never think for a long term. They're only thinking for short term or the weekend. They worked all week and now they trying to live it how they say, viva la loca. They want a wild and crazy weekend. And then they'll deal with whatever else they have to deal with come Monday of the next week. I don't know nobody. If you are a person who likes to go to the clubs or the bars, cut out going to the club or going to the bar for 1 week, one weekend. Don't Go out to no clubs, no bars. I don't know nobody who just go to the club and spend $5 to get in. And well, yeah, I do. It's a lot of women that go and they get drunk for free because there's always some cornball in there that's trying to get them buy them drinks. But imagine if you are that person who, and I don't know anyone who goes out that just drinking one drink. You got to have another one. Sometimes it goes to 4, sometimes it goes to 5, sometimes you flipped when you coming up out of there. So you spent $8 to $10 per drink, or $3 to $5 per beer. Add up all of that money that you have gone through in just one night. Now, I'm going to take me for example because I don't drink anything except, well, at the time, I didn't drink anything except Hennessy or Coke. So you already at $10, $8 to $10, depending on how fancy the club was or how upgraded the bar was. You dropping anywhere from 8 to 10. Sometimes I have flown to different places, and when in Rome, you want to do as the Romans do. I spent $12 to $15, depending on what shelf that liquor sat on. So now you're looking at, okay, man, I'm going through at least $80, $60 to $80. Now, when you multiply again, times 4 weeks, every weekend, and you're going through, let's take the low end and say $5.50. I'm spending $50 plus the 10 to get in. $60 times 4, that's $240 on top of the $60 from just eating lunch. That's $300 right there on top of the $28 just from coffee. That's $330 right there. Now, what could you have done with an extra $330? To some people, that's a power bill. To some people, that's a gas bill. Some people, that's a portion of their rent or their mortgage. A car note, definitely. $330 is somebody's car note. And you have drank it up in coffee, drank it up in alcohol and liquor, drank it up or ate it up in food, eating out. And we wonder why we are always in a race to go to the check cashing place or go to the pawn shop. We already have the money. You do not need loans in order to achieve or put yourself on the path of success. You don't need any loans. You don't have to borrow any money. All we have to stop doing is cut out the extras for 1 week or 1 month. Now, let's go even deeper because I told you $500 to $750. How many go to the movies? Movies now are ridiculous. Oh my God. Man, I went to the movies a couple of months ago, and when she told me it was $25, I was going to walk out. I was like, ooh, what kind of movies is this? Then you got another $10, $15 in popcorn and drinks. It's crazy the amount of money that we spend now at the movies for our entertainment for 2 hours. Stop going to the movies for 1 month. Some of you, I mean, that's not to say that everybody goes to a movie every week, but whenever you go, cut that out. Also, something that I would encourage everybody to do, and I'm going to show you how to save now. This is all about you got the money already. I was one of the first cable cutters that I know of. Now, there have probably been some other people who've been doing this for a long time, but I know I was so hooked on saving money that I just didn't cut the cable off. I went outside, right up where they run that cable wire into your house, I went right outside to the siding on the house and took my snips and I cut that cable all the way up to the house. I don't even want y'all to attempt to connect my cable back on. My cable bill had gotten up to $278 a month. Look at that. I'm already at $330. Now you throw in another $270 in cable. I'm already over $500 right there. Not only did I cut out cable, I just started streaming. Now, this is where my cable bill went from. So there's going to be a fluctuation in that pricing. I went from $278 all the way down to $42 because now I'm just streaming. So, and that $42 was to pay my internet bill because I needed the internet so I can connect and sell my products anyway. So instead of me having cable and internet, I just cut the cable out, kept the internet, increased my speed, my broadband speed. So now when I do these videos or podcasts or I'm doing a tutorial videos for the leather, now I don't have any lag or drag in there. You see what I'm saying? So I have gaming speed on my internet. Plus, while I'm streaming, now I don't have to sit back and watch that little circle rebuffing every time when I do watch television. Now, I know somebody's going to say, well, that streaming be adding up. No, because you can always, like with the show Power. I've watched Power ever since Power came on, which is on Stars. Now, here's the gameplay. Because I would sign up for Stars and they'll have this special running. Because when you understand things, you'll know how to play the game. Check this out. You can sign up for Stars and it'll have this special. First 3 months, $3.99. Now, the average TV series only has 10 to 12 episodes. So you're looking at 10 to 12 weeks. So you only need Stars for the 3 months while the episodes run. So now you're just paying $3.99 for that episode. So when the season ends, you cut the Stars off. See how the game is played? Now, when you have cable, you constantly just paying. You constantly paying. And then when you look at television, the majority of the shows that's on TV now are all reruns anyway. Now, if you are not a person who is into the pay channels like Stars and Showtime and Cinemax and HBO, look, there is a lot of your regular TV shows on Freevee and Tubi, Pluto, and Ion, because the majority of the shows are on reruns anyway. Now, maybe you're not a person who's into TV. Even better. All you need to do is pay for your broadband to run your business. So we're already over $500. There's your $500 right there. Just in cutting out things that really, and here's the thing, it only takes 21 days to break any habit in some schools of thoughts. 21 days. So if you've gone 3 weeks without the spending money on takeout, and some of you are spending way more than that because some of you be hitting that DoorDash and that Uber Eats like 40 going north. Cut out all of that. Start cooking your own food. When I started doing this, now I'm so far ingrained and indoctrinated into this way of living now, I don't eat out. I treat eating out as a reward. If I've had a successful week or a successful month or a successful 3 months, then I'll treat myself out to eat because I've worked for that. I went all the way back to when I was a child. See, McDonald's and Burger King and all of that stuff, it's a norm for families nowadays to eat at McDonald's on the regular. See, when I was growing up, that was a special treat for us to go to McDonald's. Oh man, somebody had a good work week or somebody got a bonus check if my mother was going to McDonald's. But I treat that as I do now as an adult. So if I'm going out to eat, that's a reward. Now, if I'm going out of town, I can't stop eating out. But you can bet $1 to a dime for breakfast. I'm going downstairs and eating that free breakfast in the hotel. That's a given. That's a given. But also, when I am out of town like that, all of those are business expenses. So I am getting a return on the money that I spend in the form of a tax deduction because that's a business expense. See, there's a difference. It's a big, huge difference because it is a necessary expense for my business, so I can write off all the meals that I eat, that I spend money on when I'm traveling. It's a necessary business expense according to the IRS, and for you to write that off, it has to be a necessary and needed expense. But I'm not just writing off meals. I'm writing off gas, hotels. I'm writing off Ubers. I'm writing off plane tickets. I'm writing off all that whole entire trip. Now, let's get back to this brown bag challenge. Not just stopping at eating out or eating all meals, start cooking your own meals. I'm just going to give you some tips or other things that I've did to save that money. Instead of buying concentrated juice or that juice that's already in the bottle that's not even good for you, start juicing your own juice. If you want apple juice, buy you a bag of apples, bring them home and juice them. I have a juicer, now 2 juicers actually. I juice my own juice. I don't buy that junk out of the grocery stores. I just recently put up a content video to where I showed you guys now I ground my own ground beef. I grind my own ground beef because it was an expense that I needed to get rid of. Why would I? See, when you're looking at it right now, I'm buying ground chuck and chuck roast. If I want to have a chuck roast for dinner, I'm buying ground beef, ground chuck, and chuck roast at the same time. When it's the same meat. So why not invest $19? I mean, you guys have seen the logs? Have you seen those ground chuck logs? Them things is $20. So guess what I did? I didn't buy ground chuck for 1 week, took that $20, went to Amazon, found me a meat grinder on Amazon for $18, had it shipped to the house. The next week, I didn't buy ground chuck. I bought the chuck roast. So I saved that money that I was going to spend on the ground chuck, bought the grinder. Now I took that chuck roast, chopped it up in chunks, or cut it up in chunks, and I started grinding my own ground chuck. One, it's a better meat. I saved money. Saved money, not only saved money, it's the real ground chuck, and it don't have all of that slime that's been connected to cancerous carcinogens. I think that's the word to say. And it doesn't have that red dye number 40 in there that gives it that red blood look. I have removed all of the stuff that's going to make me unhealthy by simply grinding my own meat. But see, I didn't stop there. Not only am I juicing my own juice now, I'm eating healthier now, because what's the point and purpose of having money if you're still going to be eating and ingesting garbage? So you're still killing yourself early by eating garbage. Now, Think about the number of people. I had one client that, well, I knew one person. She wasn't a client. Every time I talked to her, she was at Dunkin' Donuts. And I'm just using this as an example. So, how much you spending at Dunkin' Donuts? Oh, it ain't nothing but $10. $10 for for a coffee? Or think about those people that go to $5. Y'all call it Starbucks. I call it $5 because you ain't spending nothing less than $5 on a cup of coffee. Think about those people that go to Dunkin' Donuts and $5 just to get a cup of coffee. Now, think about those people that do that every day. You're spending $5 to $10 a day on one meal. Then you're going to turn around and go to lunch at work. So that's another $10 to $15 for lunch because you can't get a combo now under $10 unless you go to Wendy's. And they got that. Now they try to think that they're cute. Wendy's has now gone up. They used to be that 4 for $5 or that 5 for $5. Now they got a $6 bag. So eventually they finna drop off that $4 bag. Y'all can get ready for it. You heard it here first. But what you are taking in, do that times 20 days. You're spending $10 a day for Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts every morning. That's $50 a week for one meal. So here's the challenge, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get off of here because I've already given you examples and told you the strategy of how to move this. But here's the challenge: 7 days. Let's just do this starting tomorrow because you're just getting this podcast today. So starting tomorrow, cut out eating out. Whatever you cook for supper the night before, take that to work for lunch the next day. That's a free meal. You've already cooked it. I mean, if you won't eat your own cooking, hey, I'm not even going to touch that. But whatever you eat for supper the night before, take that for lunch. Brown bag it. That's why we're calling this the brown bag challenge. If you are going out and drinking Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts coffee, here's the funny part. Most people don't even understand that they sell Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts coffee in the bag at the grocery store for the price of one cup of coffee. So wouldn't it be in your best interest to buy the bag of coffee from Dunkin' Donuts and Starbucks? They saying it's the same thing. Brew your own coffee at home and save that money. Now, I went the best way because, I mean, if you can drink military coffee, you can drink anything. So that stuff is like turpentine. But I buy the Folgers, 148 canisters, 160 canisters, whichever one is on sale. Now it's a little bit more expensive than what it used to be. It's not $6 anymore. It's like $10. But I'm still drinking for 160 days. Let's cut that in half because sometimes I'll drink 2 cups. So for 80 days, I'm spending only 80 cents a day or per cup versus some people's drinking $4 and $5 on 1 cup. So let's cut out all of the extras. Cut out going to the movies. Cut out going to the nightclubs on a weekend. This is because we're doing this on a 7-day challenge. Cut out eating out every day for lunch. Cook, brown bag, sack luncheon. Anything else that is extra that you are doing, cut that out. When you get off work, stay at home for 7 days. There's nothing in the streets for you to be running around and trying to find out what's going on. Or set yourself up a schedule. Most people, they'll work all day, come home, and then drive back out and go to the grocery store. That's costing you extra money and gas. So set your plan up to where if you know you got to go to the grocery store, you're already out. Go to the store before you go home, then go home, and then sit at home. Just try this for 7 days. 7 days, cut out the extra travels. Now you got more gas in your car. Now you got more money in your car, in your pocket, because you're not just driving around burning up gas. It's your house, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not happy at what, I'm not even going to touch that, but it's your house. You're already paying money or paying mortgage or paying rent on it. Why are you never there? Do these small little strategies and techniques for 7 days. At the end of that 7 days, Thursday of next week, when I do the podcast next week, all you have to do is just say the number on how much you save. Now, to start your business, it's only $67. 67. So if you cut out all of the extras for 1 week, next week, you'll have the money to start your business. I'm your favorite plug, RD Muhammad, plugging you in with the information that you need in order to help you be a little bit more successful. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, that's a jewel. Those are jewels to start you being successful. There is no need to ever think about having an LLC or creating or setting up a trust fund if you don't have any money coming in. If you don't have any money coming in to fund your business or fund your trust fund, you put the cart before the horse. Overall, what I'm saying is you have to have the bag coming in order to secure the bag. And these are all things that you can put into play in motion. I come across clients all the time that they say they don't have the money. But then when you start pointing it out, just like my advisor did me, then you see who the real business people are. Because if they don't want to cut out their fund hasn't gone anywhere in 2023 years. I can promise you it ain't going nowhere. It's always going to be time to have fun. And if they don't want to cut out going to Popeyes and Rallies and Chick-fil-A, look, listen, America, or listen, global, worldwide. There's not a Chick-fil-A anywhere that I haven't gone to that every morning is 2 lines wrapped around the building. And all of those people say that they don't have money to start their own business. But they at Chick-fil-A every morning. Now, don't get me wrong. I love me some Chick-fil-A. That chicken tastes like it had both its parents. That chicken right there was loved. I'm telling you, that chicken was loved. But when it comes to my business, I don't love anything more than establishing and setting up the legacy for even when I leave this physical plane of this home that we call Earth. So that's how you know to separate the real true business owners from the ones, from the entrepreneurs, from the wantrepreneurs. Those are 2 different classes of people. Because an entrepreneur will do everything that it takes to get their business going. A wantrepreneur is somebody who want it, but they still want to hang on to it. Like my mother used to always tell me, you can't walk with God and hold hands with the devil. You got to let something go. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are your marching orders. I'll see you guys. Well, I'll be back tomorrow. But on this particular challenge, we're going to delve into it next Thursday. You guys have a great one. Peace.